I was getting this money just from going up and asking to take a photo of them. We actually earned extra cash from that.
Hey, photo BFFs, and welcome back to The Edit. I am Amanda from Seattle.
And I'm Whitney from Minneapolis.
And today we are diving into part 2 of our episode series all about how to start a photography business with no money. One of the most Googled terms out there is just, how do you start a business with no money? So in part 1, I shared about how you would start, or how I would start, a family photography business with zero budget. And now, Whitney, it's your turn. So she's going to share how she would start a photography business if she had no money, but had a full-time job and was wanting to go into, headshots, branding, and food, right? Okay.
Yes, just kind of along those lines where it's not family and it's more sort of a marketing.
Perfect.
I guess it'd be marketing photography.
Okay, sweet. I am super excited for this one because I know that you've got some creative ideas.
I do. Yes. This is something I'm really passionate about because I know how daunting it can feel when you're starting out with zero budget. That's how I started. And I know that you can make it happen. So here we go.
Okay. Well, if you didn't have any equipment or extra money, what's the first thing you would do?
My suggestion is to start with what you have. So even if you have a smartphone, you can still learn the basics of lighting, composition, and storytelling. Because even in branding and food photography, you're still storytelling. And I think that's a really important thing to remember.
Yeah.
I would be spending my evenings and weekends practicing with my phone, experimenting with free apps like Lightroom Mobile, which is free.
Oh, yeah.
Snapseed. I use Snapseed on all of my iPhone photos, or just even on your phone. So I know with the iPhone, you can edit your photos right there. You can use that to learn how to make them pop, and no additional money is needed.
That's awesome.
So if I didn't have a smartphone, so let's say you don't have a smartphone, you don't have a camera phone, you have nothing at all. So I'm thinking literally
wow, you're
nothing.
just okay.
What I would do is I would go find a Buy Nothing group. These are Facebook groups that you can go on. It's all hyper local, right in your neighborhood. You can say, hey, I'm looking for XYZ. Do you have one? I use mine all the time. It is how I found a cheap camera for my son to start practicing with.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yes.
you actually have a little bit of experience using it for photography.
Yes. And I have seen posts where people have offered up photography strobes.
Oh,
They've
wow.
offered up pro equipment.
That's
big
awesome.
thing to remember is that sometimes you just have to ask. So you literally just say, hey, does anyone have this? You can even ask your, any friends or family, hey, do you have a phone I can borrow or I can have? Why not ask? They might say no. You can throw out there on social media, but they might say yes, and it would be awesome. You can also check out Facebook Marketplace's free section. You can check out Freecycle, anything. You could even make your own camera. We have to remember that people used to make like light box cameras.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the best of everything or really anything just to start learning what you're doing. So it's going to get you going. It's going to help you learn the photography skills that you need.
Yeah, I love that so much because it's like you don't need the fancy gear to start honing the skills and learning about photography in general and what makes a great image. Okay, so love that you've covered getting a camera. And after that, how would you learn more about the craft?
Yep, YouTube. So you will need to find a place. Let's say you don't have a computer. You need to find a place to look up YouTube.
Library.
Go to your library.
Yes, I was going to say we use the library all the time with my family. So
you can find places to learn this. YouTube is so great. You can find free tutorials on basics of photography, lighting, composition, photography business, how to use a camera, editing, everything. You can find anything there. The other places I would check out are platforms like Skillshare, where you can do free trials and just really binge that. So that's how I would be using my weekends and my evenings. CreativeLive, they will run free courses. So if you're not paying for it, you may have to look up when the next course is going to run. But I have taken courses like that, and it's just a really great way to get content for free.
That is amazing. I'm going to throw out there that CreativeLive is located in like 20 minutes away from where I live, as long as there's no traffic. It's in Seattle. And they occasionally will put calls out there for people to be audience members. So that could be another really great free way to be able to get information that you need while also being able to participate in real life too. If you're in the Seattle sort of area, I did a really amazing one with Jasmine Starr and got to be in the audience, and it was no cost to me. It was just this amazing free information that I got to sit through for, I think it was 2 or 3 days we came for that. And I mean, just so cool to be able to have that right there for you. So there you go. Shout out to CreativeLive. If you're in the Seattle area, check to see if they are doing live audiences. But going back to YouTube, huge gold mine. So much information there. And you can learn at your own pace, which I feel like is one of the biggest things too. Okay. So we've covered camera and like learning the skills. So let's say you don't have any equipment, but what then?
Okay. So really phone, cheap camera. That's not, you don't want to go start taking pro photos on, on your little hand built light box camera. You really could, there are people that would pay for that. Absolutely. But we're not going to go down that path. I would try to figure out a way to start learning how to use a camera with interchangeable lenses. So it could be mirrorless, it could be a DSLR, either one, just where you can change out the lenses. And, again, buy nothing. You could ask for that. You might be able to find something like that. The other thing I would look for is try to find a weekend job with somebody that has a camera that you could borrow. So maybe you could go, when I started, I moved to Nashville. I started working at Wolf Camera. So that was such a great way, even though I wasn't taking the cameras home with me. I feel like maybe sometimes we could take them home. I don't remember. This was 20 years ago. But I absolutely learned how to use a pro camera, but by having them there to change my lenses. And there aren't as many places like that outside of cities. I know in Minneapolis, there are still camera stores here, so you could work there. But you could maybe find another pro photographer that you could assist, even if it's just admin stuff, and you could ask them if you could learn from them. So barter, say, hey, can I learn from you? And I'll do XYZ. Or maybe you have another skill you can offer. Or maybe you know a small business that maybe has a camera. A lot of people are trying to DIY their own photos. So just get really creative. Throw it out on Facebook. Hey, do you have a camera I can borrow and we can barter?
Oh my gosh, that's like a really good tip. I always forget that bartering is a really viable option.
It really is.
For so many things, but especially in this case as well. And in the scenario you have created for this person who wants to start their business. So then what you're going to do is you're going to start building your portfolio. So let's say you want to meet up with another small business that's just starting. You can offer to take product photos for them or candids at an event, or you could offer to just come and take photos. Like I'm imagining a coffee shop. Hey, would you like me to come take some photos at your coffee shop? Use your cheap camera. Do these photos for social media. They don't have to be pro quality. But you're going to start to get
they're going to be good enough to put as a portfolio so you can actually start growing.
Yeah.
And then if you could borrow that camera from wherever you're working or from your friend to do it with your pro camera, it's going to be an even better way to get started.
I love that. And speaking of events, I swear that you have mentioned something about, remember you talked about tailgating, like football tailgates?
Yes.
You and Peter used, okay, go into that because I don't remember exactly what it is, but I know that you have mentioned tailgate event photography.
Yes. So first of all, I am not a sports person. I'm not a football fan. So you don't have to just stick with things you love. Just put yourself out there. So what I would do is I would go to on game days in Georgia. This was usually in Georgia when the Georgia Bulldogs were playing. I would go to the tailgates and I would just find groups of people and say, hey, can I get a shot of you? I would take a photo of them. I'd hand them my business card. I would put their photos online and then they could purchase prints.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that then I was getting this money just from going up and asking to take a photo of them. And we actually earned extra cash from that. It's very skill building because I was going up to strangers.
Yeah, exactly.
Not my natural tendency. But it really was able to translate into weddings when I would need to go up to strangers. Like, hey, can you get together for a group shot? So get creative. There are people out there that want photos and are willing to pay for them. So find them. And it's a way for you to, again, start building up that money to start your business.
It's like genius. Wow. That is... knowing you too, I'm like, wow, I am having a hard time picturing this. You're just going up, but I absolutely love that. And it's such a good, like I said, skill building tool to have anyway, because that's so much photography is talking to people and interacting with them. Okay. So you've got your money now, at least some of the money. So what is, in your scenario, the smartest way to invest that money now that you have it?
Yeah. So you need to get your own camera. You don't want to be bartering forever. You're going to get overworked. I would suggest finding a used camera. KEH is a great place. I've bought used cameras on there. Buy a camera body, buy a lens like a 51.8. I'm not sure exactly how much it is now. When I was starting, it was like $100.
Yep, that's I had that. I think exact same lens, and it was $99, just under 100. Yep.
And you can use it for everything. So you want to make sure you get extra batteries. You want to have backup.
Oh yeah.
You need to get a memory card. You want to have a backup of that. If you don't have a computer, you can stick with editing on your phone or your tablet. And here's another story. My husband, who is a high school teacher, knew a student who built an entire wedding video business just using his iPad.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
Yeah, he actually had no desire to get pro gear. He did so great. He edited everything on there. And I say, just make sure you're upfront, like, hey, and it could be a niche, hey, I shoot my weddings on an iPad, and if you have really great stuff, people are gonna be like, I love it, do it.
Right.
So then he would just edit on there.
Oh, wow. That is super cool. And like, to be able to put that online, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money either, right?
No, not at all. So you can use a free website building platform, Wix, WordPress, Weebly. Those are the main free ones, but you can also start sharing your portfolio on Flickr.
Does Flickr still exist?
It does.
Wow. Yes. I used that way back in the day.
You totally can do that. And then just social media. Use Instagram, Facebook to start uploading your portfolio. That's something you already have. So why not just go ahead and use it?
Exactly. Okay. Yep. You're making money. You're booking clients. Okay, now what?
Okay. It's time to get official. Get a business license.
Yay! I was wondering when this would. I was just wondering. I was waiting for this part.
Yeah, and Amanda, she jumped in before I would have with that business license. I'm
totally fair. Like I said, I am the type A rule follower. So
yes, and I am too. But also, I don't know. I also forget about things.
It's fair.
So yeah, contracts. Go find some contracts from the Law Tug. Start learning the basics of running a legit business. We have a lot of episodes going into this. We have blog posts that'll help you with that. So check them out. That's why we're doing this, to help you get started.
I love it. Okay. So what do you say to somebody who is still really nervous about starting? Like, especially I'm thinking somebody might be hearing go up to strangers at a tailgating event and ask today. What if somebody is so intimidated by that? What would you tell them? What are your words of advice for them?
Well, I would say, first of all, you don't have to do that, but you do need to learn to talk to strangers. So if you're wanting to do something in business, go to different meetings, business meetings, start talking to people. When I say business meetings, I'm thinking about Meetup, where entrepreneurs get together, or maybe your local town hall has a chamber of commerce where you can meet other people like that. And that's where you can start to make connections and say, hey, I'm learning this. Do you want some free photos? And they might do it for, you can do it for free. And then you can actually start to use them as people to market your business. And also eventually, you can come photograph this small event. And then when they have a big event, they're going to be like, hey, she did that for me for free a while back. Maybe I can pay her now to do something more professional, because you have your professional equipment now.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And really, you can do it. I believe anybody, if it's something you really love, you can learn to do it. So try. That's my yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I actually think that's the perfect way to wrap up this episode is really that. So listeners, all of our photo BFFs out there, we want to hear from you all. What are your best tips for starting a photography business with no money, or just on a smaller budget? We really want to hear. We've got some awesome feedback on threads that people have provided with us, but we would love to hear in the YouTube comments, in our posts about this on Instagram. Let us know and share, and we can all be in this and learn together.
Yep.
Okay. Well, until next time, when we've got more tips for zero money starting photography businesses. We'll see you all then. Till next time. Bye.
Okay, photo BFFs, if you have not subscribed, do that right now so you never miss a new episode. You can also find us at theeditweekly.com, where we have free resources and downloads for you to help grow your photo business.